Hello, welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Celine, and this is my co-host, Gracie. We are a Formula One podcast. Before we get started on kind of going over our time in Miami at the Miami Grand Prix, please make sure that you are following us. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. We're Podium Pop on everything. We are the most active on TikTok. We posted a lot of videos from Miami as well. So definitely go give that a follow. Go ahead and let's just pop the bottle.
Get right into it.
Yeah. So, Miami.
We got there on Thursday morning around like noon.
Mm-hmm.
We spent Thursday, we very well could have gone to fan zones, I saw some people that are like near the track. I don't really know what they were doing. But we decided to use that day to protect our peace and to, get some
We needed a day sun. To like be prepared, like prepare our mind and bodies.
Our feet.
Our feet. We needed,
so much walking.
We were definitely using Thursday as a nice little prequel to the weekend.
So we got some lunch, we went to the hotel pool, we got a little sun.
Mm-hmm. The pool was really nice.
We were
the only ones there.
Yeah, we were.
For some reason, I don't quite...
It was a Thursday in Miami.
And, no one was there. To be fair, the only other people that I saw at that hotel, I would say obviously 90% of them were there for the Formula One race. Mm-hmm. And most of them were, grown men. Yeah. With other grown men. And I guess maybe grown men don't have a habit of going to the pool together.
Maybe they were working from home.
Maybe.
We should say we didn't stay directly in Miami. We stayed in a town called Aventura, Hollandale area.
Mm-hmm.
And we liked staying there. We weren't far from the track, but we were easily accessible to Uber to a shuttle station.
Yes.
Which our first day. So Thursday we kind of had rest and
relax.
relax.
I was going to say, with the area, I would definitely recommend it. I think it was perfect for what we needed. It was definitely the most affordable option that we were looking at that wouldn't be a ridiculous drive to the track.
Yeah.
Now, it'd probably be different if you had if you were driving there and you had a car, you could probably find a cheaper option to stay farther out and just get a parking pass.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much the parking passes were because we flew in, so we didn't have a car.
Yeah.
But if you're flying to Miami, and if you are getting are going to be doing Ubering everywhere, definitely recommend this area. We had a bunch of restaurants near us.
Yeah.
Again, it was very quick Uber to the shuttles.
The Ubers weren't even that expensive. I was nervous they were going to be pretty expensive just because the area and the race weekend and everything. And sure, I mean, we did pay some expensive ones, I would say. Or
I think our most expensive one was on the way from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah, it was.
That was I think 50 something.
Yeah, I think it was 50 or 60.
But everything else was below $25.
Reasonable. Yeah. Definitely budgeted more for the Uber and was happily surprised by the end of the weekend.
Definitely.
So we did research and found shuttles that took you to the track, and the City of Aventura has a Brightline station, which is their train station, and they had shuttles there. So on Friday, we did that shuttle, and we found we were stuck in a lot of traffic.
Yeah, so
a lot of traffic.
The original shuttle we took was taking us to, I think it was they had north, south, east, and I don't even know if they had a west.
I'm not sure.
Maybe they did. But I know they had a north, south, and east. Mm-hmm. And they were basically ride-share shuttles. You're supposed to take an Uber to that location, take the shuttle in and out. There was another place that you could Uber directly to the track.
Yeah.
But it was quite a long walk. You had to kind of get dropped off at a lot and walk in.
That option the Uber for that would have been expensive as well because you were going directly to the track.
All of the Uber drivers we talked to over the weekend were
oh yeah,
I'm not taking anybody to and from that track.
Yeah.
You get there and you sit in traffic for 2 hours basically.
Yeah.
The first shuttle we took was the East shuttle, and it was out of the Aventura Brightline Station.
Yeah. Which also that, they had, like, we showed up on Friday, they had bars, they had, like, a high noon tent, like, snacks, like, people were, like, drinking, like, they had, like, samples.
Yeah.
They were like, ooh, want a sample before you go?
Yeah, they were, like, drawing people, like, they were like, come over, try it. I don't even know what the samples were.
No, I don't know.
Because I was scared to get out of line, because I didn't want to make the person behind me, like, yell at me.
We also were, like, walking onto the shuttle at that point.
Which everyone was super nice, and I think the biggest thing with the shuttle is that, like, we got on that first shuttle on the way there, and we were like, this is so easy. Things are so quick. Gosh, yeah. This is, we picked the right shuttle. We were in the right spot. So we thought, we were like, it can't get better than this. Like, we were like,
spoiler alert, it can. It
can. So the first shuttle dropped us off, at one of the lots, and it dropped us off at a lot close to the main entrance.
Yeah.
Which is great if you're sitting in one of the grandstands in the main entrance, but we were not.
No.
So even when we got in, we did also we were running behind, so we got in as FP1 was happening. And we had to walk, like, pretty far to get to our seats.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend, like, looking into what shuttle you get to and where they drop you off.
Yeah.
If you're not wanting to, like, explore. It was good because we got to explore the other parts, too. But it was definitely, like, if we were maybe had a little bit more time, it would have been better. But all in all, like, once we, like, probably got to the Brightline Station, and then Uber, like, going to shuttle to the track, I would probably say it was less than, like, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes with waiting in line.
Yeah.
For the shuttle, which we didn't really wait that long. It went by pretty fast. They had so many buses.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, we did not, they had so many buses. You weren't waiting in line to get on a bus for longer than, it was like less than 10 minutes, I would say. There were so many.
And it wasn't even like waiting for a shuttle to get there. It was just waiting for someone to load.
Yeah.
The bus to go out and then for the next bus to pull up. It was really nice. And so definitely recommend looking into the shuttles. We'll talk about the next shuttle once we get to Saturday. I don't want to jump around too much. The weather on Friday was
honestly
great. The weather all weekend.
Yeah.
Perfect. Friday was definitely, for me, the hottest, but that's because of what I wore. Like, I wore, like, something with, like, not long sleeves, but short sleeves, and it was, like, a thicker material. So I was very hot on Friday. But I think if I dressed properly, it would have been would have been smarter.
Both, I think actually, like, every day, I wore a tennis skirt 2 days and then a dress. My tennis skirts, they had built-in shorts, and when I wore the dress, I wore shorts under it. But it was so windy, they kept flying up, so I was like having to constantly hold down my skirt. It wasn't bad. I had shorts. I was like, whatever. They're seeing shorts. They're not seeing anything bad.
Yeah.
But if that's something that's gonna, like, bother you or, like, you don't want to happen, make sure you wear, like, heavier material, or just, like, don't wear flowy at all.
Yeah, it's definitely windy. It's very dusty there.
Yeah, we always pretty dusty.
As much as you, like, want to wear, like, cute shoes with your outfit, don't wear comfortable sneakers or some type of comfortable shoe, because we walked, again, probably the full weekend, I would say we walked anywhere from 15 to 20 miles. Like,
we walked so much.
And it was, like, spread out, but, like, when you're walking and it's hot outside, and it's the last thing you want to be worrying about is, like, having uncomfortable feet,
or, like, getting a blister.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that I would have.
I'm so glad.
Miserable.
I was kind of nervous.
Yeah,
so glad I never had like blisters or anything.
Yeah, I think some other, like, initial things that we realized when we first got there is there's so much to do, and you just kind of have to accept that you're not going to be able to do everything. Like, there are parts, like, we walked a lot. We explored, we went to a bunch of different things, but there were definitely still parts of the track that we did not see.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Which is crazy to think about, but, like, it really is, like, it's a huge area that it covers. But we were in the beach stands, beach grandstands, and they had, like, the Red Bull, like, fan zone.
Oh yeah.
Not fan zone, like Red Bull, like, zone area next to us. So, like, they had like a pit stop thing.
Oh yeah,
next to simulator. Us. They had a huge little, like, covered area that had a bunch of food vendors and bars, and there was, like, a little Red Bull like hub in there almost, that they had a V-car car on display, which we got to take a picture of. We did that on Saturday. But honestly, I really liked where we sat. We sat in a really good zone. We didn't even do research before buying the tickets.
We didn't. We just got so lucky somehow.
Yeah, like we were like, let's just buy these ones because they're the cheapest at the time.
Yeah. So we were sat at turn 11 in the beach grandstands. And yeah, it was the furthest point away. It was pretty accessible to get to. If you go in through like the right gate and stuff, you won't be walking a lot. I really liked it and I was like loving it. We said this in our last episode. We were across from the beach club, which crazy. That beach club was insane. Yeah. But that's where all the performers were, and we didn't even realize that. So like we saw like Steve Aoki, John Summit, Ed Sheeran. We like saw all of those just because we were like sat right there and over there. Yeah. Which that was just an added little bonus. I had no clue what would happen.
And even when there weren't like big performers, they had DJs there like pretty much the whole time that there wasn't racing, even sometimes during the racing, which I didn't love, but there was always like a DJ going. So like even if we got to like our seats like an hour early or we were in between or we were eating or something, like there was like we obviously like were it was still fun. We still got to see everything and everyone. There was like always something to do.
Always something to do. Yeah, we were never bored.
Yeah. Friday.
I would say that because of the beach club, our TVs were blocked by cabanas, so we could see it for the majority, but things like the leaderboard was blocked, and I don't know, so sometimes it was very frustrating, and you're like standing up and like maneuvering around trying to see everything. So if that's something like you don't want, I would avoid the beach club. Or
well, there was
I guess just like the North Beach, that one grandstand in the middle. If you're like to the left or to the right, you'll probably have a better TV viewing, but just the one in the middle at turn 11 was blocked.
Because they did have like TVs outside of the beach club as well. We were just unfortunately at like an angle where like we could see like one like diagonal to one, diagonal to the other. We couldn't really like see like read what was on the screen. Yeah. And the screen that we were supposed to be looking at was kind of blocked by cabanas. So that was obviously like during the race, like it was sometimes be difficult to see the standings, and it's also hard to hear because even though there are like announcers when the cars go by, you can't hear them. Obviously, they're very loud. So that was a little difficult. That was the only thing that I didn't like about our seats, but everything else was really good. It. We had a lot of like fun people around us.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of Checo fans. But it was very good vibes.
Yeah. I would say too, like, we really don't like hate anyone on the grid, and like, I mean, just because we were in Miami, we were expecting there would be, like, a lot of, like, Checo and Alonso fans and stuff. So we were, like, into it in the vibe. Like, people were chanting for Checo, like, I don't know, we were like, oh, yeah, Checo, like, let's go. And, like, they're chanting his name.
It's hard not to get caught up in it.
So I feel like, especially, like, you know, if you're going somewhere, like, if you're going to Monza, like, you know there's going to be a bunch of Tifosi and Charles fans there. Like, I don't know, you got to, like, make sure, like, if that's going to be something that seriously is going to upset you for some reason, like, you got to put it in the back of your brain. Just, like, embrace yourself in that moment.
Yeah. Like, we were, I like Checo. Yeah. But, like, I'm never, like, I guess a huge, like, I wouldn't, like, chant his name. Yeah. But I was getting into it.
I know, like,
I was like, Checo, Checo. You can't help to get, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Friday was awesome. We watched FP1. Kind of. We were walking while we were watching FP1.
We watched the last 15 minutes of it.
And then we watched the Formula One Academy practice. Yeah. And then we watched sprint qualifying. So we do a full race recap on our last episode. Yep. So we're not going to talk about like anything during the race. If you want to hear about that, make sure to go listen if you haven't already. But we didn't really venture out too much into other things once we got to our seats. We kind of stayed in the like beach grandstands area, which again, there's still plenty to do over there. So after we were heading out for the day, it was a very, very long and tiring walk. Yeah. Because the way in, like, you're feeling all the excitement. You're like, this is awesome.
You're hearing the cars go.
Yeah. And on the way out, you're like, oh my gosh, I've walked 4 miles today. I've been sweating all day. Like, that's the last thing that you want to do. Yeah. So the walk out to the shuttle, to the East shuttle, was a little, I won't lie, I was at it. That was probably my lowest point of the weekend, I won't lie.
I was trying to keep the vibe so high.
I was like,
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, like I was like, and as soon as I was doing that walk, we passed by the gate near us, and I saw like a sign. Like, I didn't even know there was more than one shuttle. We just thought this was the only shuttle option. And I saw like beach grandstand shuttle, and I was like, what is that? Like, I saw signs for it, and obviously we didn't hop on it in there because I didn't know what it was. Oh, yeah. But that was like my mission. I was like, I'm gonna do some research on the bus.
You were like, we were on the bus, and you figured out, you were like, we're taking a new shuttle tomorrow, and I was like, okay. I
was like, we're gonna do this. Go here. I already checked Uber prices. It was a couple of dollars more, but I think it's worth it. Like, all of this stuff. And so we get on again. Once we get to the place, we immediately get on a shuttle. We did wait a little bit, right?
On Friday? Yeah. Just a little bit, but also, like, everyone in line, the, like, workers who were, like, helping direct everything, everybody is so nice. Yeah, all weekend. It's, like, some of the people, the workers we talked to, like, obviously didn't know. They're like, oh, how was the race today? Like, da-da-da, and, like, asking questions about, like, you know, what was going on. But they were so nice. They were like, okay, it's going to be hot tomorrow, drink water, like, dress appropriately, wear good shoes. Like, they were so nice. I loved it.
I will say that's kind of, like, the case for, like, everywhere we went in Miami. Like, all of our Uber drivers, like, some of them barely even spoke English, and they still were very nice. Yeah. Like, I didn't meet anyone, like, that was...
I didn't have a bad experience with anybody.
No, not at all. No. So we get on the shuttle, and this is where, one, the walk already had me at a low point for the East shuttle. Wow. I was already in my shit book a little bit. Yeah. And then we get on the shuttle...
And then I hit a low point.
And then Gracie hit a low point.
My dad called me. My dad was taking care of my cat to come, like, check on her. And he called me to say that he couldn't get in. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, she's already been alone for 2 days now. What do you mean? And he, like, I literally, right as we got on the shuttle, he called me. Oh my God, I was that Jennifer Lawrence meme. What do you mean?
It literally is.
Literally.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
He couldn't get in. The key wasn't working, whatever. So... I hung up. He was like, I don't know what to do. It's 7 p.m. The office is closed. Like, whatever. And I was like, okay, just go home and try again tomorrow. I'm sitting on the shuttle as we're coming home, silently sobbing. Like, Celine didn't even know.
Notice. She hit it well.
I, like, faced towards the window, and I just let tears run down my cheek.
She told me, like, the day after, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, girl. I didn't even know.
I'm silently crying to the shuttle. I hear a bunch of cop cars, and we just see the entire Red Bull team pass us.
Yeah, like,
it was, like the 15 cars, maybe.
Yeah, and they were all, like, big SUVs with, like, the big, like, Red Bull logo on it.
Massive amounts of police escort.
Like, it was definitely, like, some important people in those cars. But the traffic was ridiculous. It was stop and go, so it was, like, jerky because, like, he was in traffic and he would, like...
We also didn't have the best driver.
No. And, like, granted, like, he had to kind of jerk quickly because otherwise people would cut in front of him. Yeah. So it was, like, very jerky. We'd been in the sun for, like, crying. 8 hours at this point. Gracie thought that her cat was going to be abandoned all weekend. Like, it was definitely, like, we got back to the hotel and we're like, shit.
We also went to Target.
We went to Target. That was another thing.
Yeah.
Let me talk about that, too. Yeah. Shuttle was not good. We did research. We had a plan. So we did use that plan the next day. The bags. So bag policy is definitely weird. We actually recently, which we'll do an episode on, but we just went to an IndyCar race. And it was completely different.
Opposite.
And it's because the Formula One race is around the Dolphins Stadium. And so they have to do the same bag policy as the Dolphins
as the NFL does.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to adhere to
the stadium ones. So there's like, you have like a little bag that fits in like the palm of your hand basically, or you can have a clear bag and you can have something bigger. I had like a crossbody and there were just too many things that I wanted to bring. Like I had to hang things on it. It was on my neck. I was hot. I was sweaty. I hated it. Like I looked at Gracie. I was like, I know that you just now got this news about your cat. And I know that you're like nauseous from the bus driver. And I know that we've been in the sun all day. And I know that we are stuck in traffic for 45 minutes. I have to go to Target. And she was like, I guess. She was a trooper. I won't lie.
I was a trooper.
So we get to the Brightline station finally. Again, it literally took probably longer than 45 minutes.
Yeah. So coming home or back to the Brightline, leaving the track was bad. The traffic was so bad.
So bad. And like, It was a really long time. Once we get to the Brightline station, luckily, we get an Uber pretty quickly.
Oh my god, it was like a 15-passenger van that picked us up.
Oh yeah, we ordered a regular Uber, and it was literally like a church van picked us up.
Oh, it was.
Which, to be fair, I found him right away.
Yeah,
he was in like a line of cars. I was like, yeah, that's our guy.
That's our driver.
No question about that. So we Uber to Target, and I buy a clear backpack. That was probably like one of the best decisions I made over the weekend. Like, I got to put everything in it. If something couldn't fit in Gracie's bag, I could put it in mine. It was much easier to like manage, and it wasn't like on my neck bothering me. So if that's something that like you aren't like, she uses crossbody bags like every day, so it like didn't bother her at all. But normally I don't wear like a purse like that. I did not like it.
Yeah, I was fine. Like it was really lucky that you had yours, and I could like throw my bracelets or water bottle in there.
Yeah.
One thing too, the website said soft-sided water bottles, so we were like, I like had like a little smaller hydro flask I was gonna bring, and I was like, oh my gosh, we need a soft-sided one. So we ordered like collapsible soft-sided ones. People were walking in with hydro flasks, awalas, like,
yeah,
if
like
you
they were.
Yeah,
the
I think it's
rules
fine.
when you look at it are very strict.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna say break the rules because you like I don't want like you to go and happen to get like the really strict gate person
and your water bottles taken away.
Your water bottles taken away. Like that would suck. But like we didn't really run it. Like even my clear backpack that I used the second day, they didn't even open it and like dig around. They literally just like had me hold it up on both sides, and they're like, "You're good." Like, which was really nice. I ended up using the soft-sided water bottles we got. Smelled bad. Like they smelled like silicone, and we didn't like boil them.
Mine was fine.
I couldn't do it. I tasted it in yours too. I just couldn't do it. So I just bought like a regular water bottle, and I just reused that. They do have water stations. The first time that we used the water station, the water was like boiling hot.
It was hot.
And I think it's because like they set up the water stations and then had like the water there sitting.
Yeah.
But once, like the second time we went that day, and then the rest of the weekend, the water was really good. It was cold because I think it was cycling through. But the first one, I was like, is it going to be like this forever?
Like, that's miserable.
I don't know if I could do this.
I'll buy ice somewhere.
Yeah, like it was hot water. It wasn't just like not cold. It was
it was hot. Also, day one it was fine, but the other days it came out so slow.
Yeah.
Like, and like everybody was like standing there like trying to get it to go quicker. So slow, and practice your patience with that one.
For sure.
You also had to like, it would cut off and it wouldn't start back up again unless you took your water bottle. There were sensors. Unless you took your water bottle out and put it back under. So it was a lot of people just like going back and forth trying to get your water bottle filled.
Yeah.
On Sunday, I gave up and just filled it up halfway.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, like, there to, like, try to limit people, but no one obviously was, like, enforcing that, so... And I was doing it, too. I was also, like, trying to fill my whole water bottle.
If it was a regular, if it came out, like, a regular...
Yeah. I mean, there were some times that, like, you would go and there wouldn't be a line and there'd be nobody there, and other times there would be. It definitely depends, like, if you go, like, right after one of the races end or right before it starts, it'll be busier. But there were definitely times that if you timed it, and if we timed it right, we probably could have just walked up, done it, and walked away without there being a lot of people.
Speaking of water bottles, I'm going to talk about the bathroom situation real quick.
Yeah.
There were only porta potties, obviously, because it's a street race. Inside the stadium, which you can go in and out of the stadium, there were regular bathrooms. If you use the porta potty, literally go to the ones in the very, very, very back.
Yes.
Because nobody was using them because they didn't want to walk that far, and those were still clean. End of the day, they were still clean.
Yeah.
The front ones were bad.
Yeah, no, I automatically went to, like, the very farthest corner, or, like, I, like, looked at a couple back there, and it was always, like, much cleaner, like... In general, it was just, yeah. But I will say, because I've been to a lot of, like, festivals and stuff where, like, they run out of toilet paper or they run out of, like, water in the sinks. They did a really good job. I didn't ever see any without toilet paper. I didn't see any of the, like, hand washing stations, like, without water.
They ran out of paper towels, but just shake your hands.
Yeah, like, that one, like, I don't really care about that, you know?
Save the environment.
Exactly. But, yeah, the bathroom situations, which we'll talk a little bit about general admission as well, and how that works, but you can go into the stadium and those bathrooms are much nicer.
Yeah.
So definitely recommend that if you don't like porta potties. I mean, obviously, like, we were in the beach grandstands, it would have been ridiculous for us to walk all the way to the stadium to use it, so we were using the porta potties. Yeah. But I've been, like I said, been to many festivals, and the porta potties were very well kept.
Yeah, they were.
And there were also a lot outside of the venue as well. Like, even on, like, our walk to, like, the long walk that we had the first day to the shuttle spots, there were, like, porta potties along, like, in each of the lots. The second day, on the way to the stadium, or on the way to the track, I literally was in the shuttle. Like, I almost peed my pants. And if I would have had to wait in line to get in and then use the porta potty, I just don't know what I would have done. I don't think I would have made it. Thank God they had some right outside that I could go to.
I would have sent you on the shuttle by yourself.
I would have gone. I would have gone happily. So day 2. Did we cover everything for day 1?
Yeah.
Day 2,
awesome.
The new shuttle. And it was life-changing.
It was life-changing.
We get there. So I will say, this one had less shuttles, but it had a lot less people using it. So this was the North Shuttle, and it was the one that was right outside of the Hard Rock Casino.
Yeah.
If you stayed at, like, the Qatar Hotel, and if you stayed, like, in that area, there's a bunch of hotels over there. And it's definitely farther from the track, so I don't think many people would think to.
Yeah.
But the shuttle, and again, this obviously this could change next year. Like, they could have different shuttle places. It's hard to know for sure. But if you stayed at that hotel, you could literally walk across the street, get on the shuttle, and have a literally free way to get to and from the track, which would be kind of
amazing.
Like I said, less shuttles, but a lot less people. So we literally walked up. There was not even a line. Like, our shuttle wasn't even full on the way there because everyone loaded up and they're like, okay, well, the line's empty. Like, let's just go. So we get on the shuttle, and it technically is farther, like, it's more miles away from the track, but it's more highway and less, like regular streets. So it was definitely even quicker to get there.
There was no traffic.
I think the other thing to point out is, for some reason, and I don't even know why.
I thought we figured it out.
But
because the VIP section?
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's so right. Yeah. Okay. So the shuttle going to the beach grandstands goes through a different exit than, like, the east one, the east shuttle. The east shuttle went through, like, the same line that the cars were getting to go into park.
Yeah.
While the beach grand, and it also could have just been the direction it was coming from, went through an exit on the highway that was literally marked off, and you had to have a certain badge to get through it, so you didn't have to wait in line at all. Once you were through that exit, the bus driver, like, showed his badge, you just got pushed through, and there was no traffic in there.
No traffic.
Went straight to the beach club. I honestly think that the reason why is because most people that were in, like, the VIP beach club area that paid, like, not hundreds of thousands,
$1,300.
Yeah, like, all of this money to be there, they would be on that shuttle, and they'd be in that area.
There's also a huge VIP parking lot, and it's like we got off that exit on the highway, and we were, like, almost immediately into the parking lot where we were dropped off, and it was like there's a spot for the shuttles and a spot for the VIP cars.
Yeah,
and, like, they were insane cars there. Like,
no,
we walked past, like, a McLaren. We walked past, like, insane cars.
Yeah. No, and honestly, like, another thing is it dropped us off, like, right next to the gate. Versus, like, the East shuttle dropped us off in a lot, and we had to walk, like, a quarter mile down and then cross a bridge and then get into the gate. It literally dropped us off. We got off the bus, walked through, like, 2 lines of barricades, and then scanned our stuff to get in. It was so much quicker. All in all, it was quicker to get on, it was quicker bus ride, and it was quicker to get in.
Yeah.
Life-changing that we ended up switching to that shuttle.
Oh my gosh,
and again, it was, like, maybe, like, from our hotel to the Brightline station versus our hotel to the Hard Rock Casino, maybe, like, $5 more.
Yeah.
Worth the $5.
Oh my god, it was so worth it.
So we go through that new shuttle, we get to the track on Saturday morning, and we had a very busy day. We had a game plan.
We did.
We learned so many things on Friday, like, even just, like, about, like, I was like, I wore a tank top this time, like, and I knew that. I've heard people say it, of course, but, like, we knew where things were, we knew where our seats were, we knew where we wanted to get, like, this food, and we knew we had, like, the drinks that we wanted. Everything was, like, much easier.
Yeah, it was.
So, we had a full game plan. There were a couple meetups that we wanted to go to. There were obviously some races we want to sit and watch and all this stuff. So it was all in all, like, already starting out smoother with the shuttle situation.
Yeah. Getting there so much quicker.
Mm-hmm. So we get in and watch...
We watch... Qualifying for...
Formula One Academy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At our, like, seats in the grandstand.
At our seats.
Which also, we had... Our grandstand was, like, half covered. And there weren't a lot of people there. And even, like, the first day we got there, the ticketing people were like, there's not a lot of people, like... right now, sit wherever, like, feel free.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up to the very top where it was covered.
Yeah.
So if you're in that situation, I would definitely recommend.
And definitely for all of, like, the Formula One Academy stuff,
mm-hmm.
it wasn't as crowded. I will say that the Formula One Academy race 2 was pretty crowded, so we sat in our seats, but all of the other things throughout the weekend, which is, like, good, but also, like, good for us, but also, like, there should be more people watching. But, but we got to sit, like, in the shade, which definitely helped because the sun was brutal.
Yeah, it was.
Like, they say wear sunscreen, and you can say it all day, wear sunscreen.
We have got to wear sunscreen.
They didn't let you bring in aerosol cans.
Yeah.
So we had, like, little travel size tubes because originally we were only bringing the pack. We could have brought a bigger one in once I had my backpack, but we just didn't because we already had the little ones.
The travel ones I think they worked out well. I never ran out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure to reapply, but and sit in shade when you can.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to point out is there's plenty of, like, seats around, like, the food areas,
mm-hmm.
but they're 99.9% of the time all going to be full.
Yeah, we only got a table one time
mm-hmm.
out of the 3 days that we were there.
Yeah, and honestly, like, we ate at times that, like, everyone else would be eating because we didn't want to miss anything, but, like, if you... like, if you didn't want to watch a Formula One Academy
mm-hmm.
thing, or if you want to, like, leave out, like, 5 minutes early, you probably could get a table. But we ended up just sitting, like, on, like, the grass area, and it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
You could also take it back to your seat and eat it as well.
Yeah.
And your stand. But, do you want to talk about the meetups?
Oh, yeah. So on Saturday, we ended up watching the sprint race from our seats, and then we said this last episode, but that's when we realized we had a great overtaking spot
mm-hmm.
at turn 11, so could not once again highly recommend enough turn 11. And then we went to some meetups. The Fan Behavior podcast, Hannah and Zoe, had a meetup inside the Hard Rock Stadium, and they, like, posted what section they were going to be outside of. I think the Red Flags podcast was also there.
Yeah.
We were, like, not scared of them, but we were like,
and then someone was like, go up and talk to him. We're like, no.
We're talking to the girly pops. Yeah. I don't know. Like, it would have been totally fine.
They were, we talked to other people and everyone said that they were so nice.
I don't know. We were, like, weirdly in our heads.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
But,
so that was so fun. We, met some of our mutuals there. Shout out to Sabrina and Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
Loved meeting you guys. And then we talked to Zoe for a while. Hannah was talking to other people. Once again, everybody was so nice at the meetups.
We exchanged bracelets. Yeah. We definitely need to be more prepared because I made a bunch of bracelets, and in my head, I made, like, a bunch for, like, all of the teams. So, like, instead of making, like, a bunch of, like, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull ones,
mm-hmm.
I made, like, it spread out. And then I realized, like, nobody wanted, like, my, like, K-Mag one. Like, and I was doing it on purpose, and I was like, oh, like, if I meet a K-Mag fan, they're gonna love this. I didn't. But maybe I didn't talk to the right people.
Maybe.
We also met a lot of people, and they talked about, like, where they were sitting, and a
mm-hmm.
lot of the girls that we talked to had general admission. So general admission, the campus passes, I heard a lot of mixed reviews about it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people say that it's not exactly what they expected because most of the Grand Prix that you go to, they have, like, specific sitting areas for general admission,
mm-hmm.
Like, grass areas that you can just stand or sit at.
Like, at COTA, it's a big hill. There's one of them is a big hill people sit at.
For Miami, there may have been, like, a couple around, but for the most part, they were expecting people with general admission to sit inside the stadium and watch the races, or you could stand, like, on, like, the edge of the stadium and, like, overlook and see the race.
Which there were a ton of people doing that, but I don't know if I'm buying a ticket, like, I want to see it at the track, on the track, like...
So I think definitely, like, do research if you're in, and it is definitely the most affordable option.
Yeah, for sure.
So if that's all that you can, like, if that's all you want to pay for, like, it's still definitely great. There's still so much to do. You still get to, like, see the races, all of that. But definitely keep that in mind if you're interested in getting general admission.
We just personally, like, we wanted a seat. We wanted spots where, we could, like, we wanted
A
a
nice
home base.
home base. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. That, so obviously, do your research, like we said.
Yeah. We went to another meetup as well. We went to F1 Femmes meetup, which was super awesome. We met even more people, a bunch of content creators, again, exchange bracelets. It was just so exciting. Like, you leave both of those interactions. Like, me and Gracie, like, don't know other really, we have a couple friends that do watch Formula One.
Oh, yeah.
And then a couple of them, like, are girls. But, like, we don't have, like, know a lot of people that are, like, as into Formula One as we are. Like, we're, like, really into it. And if they are, they're, like, guys.
You could say, like, we don't know a lot of people, like, the fangirl side. Or, like, the stan side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting to meet, like, these people in person and, like, you to, like, I don't know, connect with them about that. It was super
so
cool. And it was also just, it felt, like, really exciting to, like, network and, like, people.
Yeah.
We were telling people about our podcasts and telling them about our TikTok, and they were telling us about their stuff and what they're doing and their projects, and it was super cool. The other thing is, in between those two meetups, which they were timed out perfectly for us, honestly. In between those two meetups, we also walked around, again, more areas that we didn't see. It was really cool. You could walk through the Porsche cars garages, as well as the Formula One Academy garages were open at some points. Both the times that we were near the Formula One Academy, like, paddock garages, it was closed off because it was right around the races. Like, they were getting ready to go out, which was unfortunate. It would have been so cool to walk through it. But I know a lot of people that did, and they said it was really cool. And I think it was just awesome that it even was, like, open for us to do that.
Yeah, me too.
For fans to do that. I think it was really made, like, a huge, I don't know, like, push. I know, like, we talked in the last episode, like, Formula One Academy definitely was putting, like, even though it was it's their third race weekend. Second race weekend. It's definitely, like, they were pushing for Miami to be, like, their big, like, here's what we do, here's what it looks like, that kind of thing. So it was really cool. You could definitely feel Formula One Academy's presence there.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, there was so much to do. There was a bunch of merch tents that we passed. We did buy a Red Bull hat. It's expensive. They tell you it's expensive, and you get a number in your head. And you're like, yeah, that is expensive. I bet it'll be that.
Yeah.
Like, add, like, $40 to that number.
And, like, a lot of the stuff, like, when we talk about money and stuff, this is some stuff we've been budgeting for.
Yes.
So, like, we bought our tickets back in January, and the race was in May. So the whole time, I'm like, budgeting for this and everything. Also with buying hats. Wear a hat.
Yeah.
Don't even think about not wearing a hat. I didn't wear one on Friday just because I wore like a Williams and Logan Sargent t-shirt, and I just didn't have a hat that matched that, and I didn't want to, like, I had McLaren hats. I was like, I'm not going to mismatch teams. And then, first of all, the Red Bull Miami hat was really cute, and then we got the hats on Friday, I don't know, maybe like 45 minutes after being there, 30 minutes. My face was already burning so bad after I had 2 layers of sunscreen on. Wear a hat.
Wear a hat.
Just wear a hat.
Yeah, I didn't wear a hat on Friday either because I was anticipating buying the Red Bull Miami hat.
Yeah.
I went back and forth with wanting to buy this hat because I'm obviously a McLaren fan. I like Red Bull too, but I'm a McLaren fan. And in my head, I didn't want to, like, curse anything. Which we didn't. But I was, like, going back and forth. I had dreams about this hat all night, Thursday night. Like, I woke up, I went to bed, and I woke up thinking about this hat. Like, and I just knew, like, I would regret this if I didn't buy it. So I bought it. We went up to one. Again, we were there for, like, it was the first, like, maybe, like, couple hours. Like, because, we were a little late on the first day. But the track was probably open for, like, 2 or 3 hours at this point. We go to this stands. And it could have been different, like, if it was a different area. But the one that we go to, we go up to one of the cashiers in, like, the inside part, and we're like, we want the pink Miami cap, Red Bull Miami cap. And she's like, oh, we don't have it anymore. And I'm like, shit, like, I lost it. Like, I was dreaming about this all night, and it's not here. And then we were walking out, and we were like, well, whatever. I was walking out. I see some on, like, the other shelf behind at a different cashier, and I'm like, let me go ask. We go up there, and there were 2 left.
We had to do it.
Like, I was like, Gracie, We got to. It's a
to.
sign.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying it. I'm glad we did.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely, it was just worth it, I think.
For sure.
It was silly how much we paid for it, but, like, it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
To us. Probably not to most people, but to us it was.
I wish it had the one on it for Max, but...
Yeah, we wanted to get, like, a specific, like, Max one. I would have even liked a Checo, like, specific one, but they only had just, like, the one without the numbers on it, which I'm still glad to have. But it was really cool.
So, moral of the story, wear a hat, wear your sunscreen.
Yes.
Don't even think about not wearing a hat.
Definitely. Did anything else happen on Saturday?
We watched the qualifying. We went back to, after the meetups, we went back to our seats to watch the qualifying. It was pretty good. Like we said in our race recap episode, it was a pretty standard qualifying. Mm-hmm. So.
It was, yeah. Which, again, we talk much more detail about it.
Yeah.
The last episode, but
it was still good to see.
Mm-hmm. I think, and again, we talked about this a little bit in the last episode, but I think a lot of times Miami gets, like, the reputation of being a pretty boring race because there's not a lot of, like, places to overtake. It's normally, like, whatever you qualify, that's, like, what the race is gonna be. But, spoiler alert to the race, it was not boring.
Not boring at all.
At all.
Yeah.
So, was that everything for Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
The bus ride home,
so much quicker.
Just as quick as getting there.
No traffic.
Much quicker than the first one. Because, again, we went through that special exit.
Yeah. My dad was able to get into my apartment. Mm-hmm. I was not silently sobbing on the way home.
Yeah.
But morale was high.
Morale was high.
Yeah.
And also, like, we got out of there so much quicker than we were expecting. Mm-hmm. So, like, we were back at our hotel, like, feet propped up, ready to tuck into our Shake Shack that we ordered.
I forgot we got that.
Probably by, like, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Because even the day before that didn't even have something going on as late just because of the shuttle. We didn't even, and we stopped at Target, but we didn't even get home until, like, 8:30.
Yeah, so late.
So,
before we talk about Sunday and the race day, I want to talk about spending money at the track. Mm-hmm. Because on, like, the Miami race weekend, there was, like, a picture going around of a food menu where food was, like, $180, $200.
My dad, expensive. Like, saw it. Like, not even, like, on, like, F1 Twitter. Like,
no, it was,
my
like,
dad saw
making
it
the rounds. That was for the beach club. And the beach club, once again, was $1,300 to get into. Mm-hmm. So the people in the beach club, I'm sure they
were not hurting for money to buy these $120 nachos.
And also it was, like, the nachos was insane. It was, like, lobster rolls and, like, crab and stuff.
Yeah.
But we, like, paid pretty standard prices for food, like $20 for chicken tenders and fry basket, which you're gonna pay that at a music festival, at a concert.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's expensive, but, like, it's definitely what we were, again, right on par with what we were expecting. Same with, honestly, like, the drinks. Like, the beer was, like, $10, the high noons were $12, the water was, like, I think, like, $5.
I think it was, like, three or four.
Yeah.
I remember the water was pretty affordable.
And so, honestly, like, again, like, we've been to so many, like, other, like, events like this, music festivals, that kind of thing, that it's right what we were expecting.
It made sense, yeah.
Yeah.
The high noon was a little ridiculous because it was a small can, but
honestly, some bars you go to charges you, like, $12 for a high noon can, so, like...
yeah. But I love high noon.
Yeah. We did it anyway, so.
Yeah, that's out of food prices. Just wanted to clarify for that.
Yes. Yeah, like, my dad literally was like, so, like, you're not paying this much money for it. I'm like, Dad, first of all, how did you even figure this out? Like, my dad only goes on Facebook. Like, did you tell me you saw this on Facebook? I don't know how he saw it.
A news article.
I know. But, so Sunday.
Race day.
We take the same shuttle. That's all very standard. Again, very prepared as far as, like, the backpack. We were, like, cooking. Like, we learned all of our lessons Friday. We
implemented them on
Saturday and, like, made some tweaks. And then Sunday we were, like,
ready to go.
Perfect shape.
Yeah.
It was, again, we do a race recap. It was the best day of my life. Like, Lando wins. Obviously, we are huge Lando fans.
Yes.
Lando wins, and I just about...
I cried.
Lose it. I
cried in those grandstands.
Yeah, like, we definitely, like, probably talked for a good half an hour on the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, again...
Make sure you listen to that.
But, all in all, the vibe was just on another level. Like,
so...
everyone was in a good mood.
Yes.
Everyone was so happy. We stayed in the beach stands the whole time for that time, right?
Yeah, because we also watched the F1 Academy second race there, too.
Yes, which also was pretty full of people for.
It was, for the
It was
second
just
race.
so exciting to see, like, people showing up for it. Because, again, like, you see, like, especially from, like, last year, you'll see, like, clips of it, and there being, like, no one in the grandstands. And it was definitely a lot of people. Again, not as many for, like, the actual race, but, like, there were a lot of people there for it. So it was super awesome.
So Sunday, Lando wins. We're having a great time. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
We had already planned, we like to go out.
Yes.
We like to, we love a good bar, club scene. We were like, we're in Miami.
We have
to go out. Like, the whole time, we were like, we're going out Sunday, we're going out Sunday, we're going out Sunday.
We weren't even like, we're not gonna go out more than one day, because one,
it's gonna be expensive.
Exhausted.
Oh my god, and tired, yeah.
So we're like, Sunday will be perfect. Our flight didn't leave out until 3 p.m. on Monday. We had plenty of time. We're like, we're gonna go out after the race, and hopefully we are happy with the race results. Yeah, and
we're like, oh, anybody who wins, we're going out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we obviously, once we found out Lando wins, we looked at each other and we're like, we need liquor.
Yeah.
We had some high noons and like some beers at the hotel that we just got for the weekend. But we're like, no, we need liquor.
We got off of the shuttle bus and Celine ordered us an Uber to the liquor store.
Yeah, like, I'm like, why go home and walk to the liquor store and walk back? Like, we're going to go straight to the liquor store. So we walked in the liquor store in, like, our, like, sweaty, race gear. And again, we're not staying super close to the track. So, like, there weren't, like, a bunch of other race fans walking around. Like, we probably looked insane.
Crazy.
We were, like, shaking and, like, tear streaks on our face from the excitement. And, like, the guy was, like, over it. But we got a couple of those little, like, mini shooter shots.
We sure did.
Got to the hotel, and we were like, okay, we have to get some dinner. We have to be, start getting ready. We have to shower, all this stuff. And we have to figure out where we're going to go. Because obviously we've never been to Miami. We've heard a lot about, like, some Miami clubs that are really hard to get into, and we're like, we do not want to get all the way to the front of the line.
Or, like, buy a ticket, and then they're like, oh, sorry, not feeling the ratio, you guys are denied. Yeah. We were like, I don't know, we were so scared about that.
We just have seen so many horror stories, and, like, obviously, Miami's known for, like, just being a bunch of models, and me and Gracie are beautiful girls, but we are not models by any means.
I wish.
And so we're like, oh my god, like, what if we get up there and they're like, no, we don't like your outfit, you can't get in, or like, no, like, you don't know the right people, so you're not getting it. We're like,
I don't know, we like really, like, I don't know, we like hyped it up in our brains. We
definitely thought too hard about it.
But I think the one club we thought about going to is kind of like that. I've, like, even seen before we went of people being denied, and so literally we were like pre-gaming. We also knew, like, Miami clubs stay up until 7, 8 a.m.
Yeah. Some of them literally don't close.
So we were like, okay, we have got to figure out where we're going to go. And at one point we were just like, one of our friends told us about, like, a club called Space. And we were like, oh, that could be a good one. And we, like, saw it seemed reasonable. And then we were like, okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go to this club. We might not get in. Whatever. And we're like, okay, we'll get these tickets. I don't know. And then I'm, like, doing more research. I'm literally on Reddit. Yes. Looking at, like, Miami clubs. Like, like, easy to get in, like, fun, whatever. And then I see a club and they're like, 11. And I was like, wait. I've heard about 11. I've seen it on TikTok, like, whatever. And I was like, let's try 11. And
the good thing is,
that was going to be there?
It was going to be Afrojack. Yeah. And the good thing about 11 is that Space was basically the one that we saw, like, isn't, like, you could wear, like, sneakers to get in, like, it's not, like, hard to get into it, and it was right across the street from 11, so we're like, worst case scenario, we get in line for 11, they say that we can't go in, we just go across the street, so we're like, it's a good plan, it wouldn't require us, like, getting all the way there, and then being denied, and then having to Uber to a whole nother place, so we get to 11, we get in line, again, like, I was, like, so many people in line were, like,
they were all so
there were these, like, socialites, and they all knew each other, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, that was crazy last weekend, and me and Gracie were sitting there.
Or, like, bachelorette parties were all around us.
And, like, all of them were, like, I had, like, when they said heels, I got the shortest heels I could find. I did some research on it. But there are these girls in, like, 6-inch heels and, like, bodycon dresses, and I was like, oh my god, like, we're not gonna get in. We're not gonna get in. They're gonna take one look at us and be like, frauds! You all are frauds!
You don't belong.
You don't belong here. So eventually we do get through. and get
also,
up to...
like, once again, we hyped it up so much. The bouncers were so nice.
They were so sweet.
They were so nice.
Everyone was so nice.
Like, the girls and I behind us were so nice. Like, oh my, yeah.
It was, again, just us getting in our own heads.
No, literally.
People on TikTok just scared us.
And Reddit.
And yeah, so don't do that. Don't do that. We get up there. The bouncer is so nice. He's like, oh, where are you all from? Because he obviously knew. He did know we are not from Miami. We're like, oh, we're from Ohio. And he's like, oh, y'all got clubs like this? And we're like, no. So we get in. We get up to the front desk, and they're like, it's going to be $100 to get in. And we're like, well, we just sat through line. Like,
we said, okay.
We get in. Again, everyone is so nice. We couldn't find the bathroom, so we just asked a girl, and she's like, yeah, sure, right through there. Like,
yeah, she was so nice, too.
And at one point, like, I got done with the bathroom, and I was standing, like, outside, and, like, some worker, like, came. Like, I was standing, like, right outside the bathroom in, like, this one area. And then a worker came through, and he's like, oh, honey, you can't stand here. Just stand right there. And I was like, okay. Like, everyone was so nice.
So nice.
And then...
we go, and, we use the bathroom. We get a drink. We're standing there. We like EDM music. Mm-hmm. We like, techno, whatever. But the music... Also, we thought Afrojack was going to be playing.
Yeah, he was not
on. Also, we probably got there at, 1:32 a.m. And we knew... we know DJs come on late. Whatever. And we were like, okay, I don't know how much this club is our vibe.
Yeah.
And we were like, it's fun. We're having fun. We also think we accidentally snuck into some... Not really. There was a person, checking people. You, went downstairs. Yeah. And there was a person checking people as they went down, but we just kind of walked right past.
Yeah, we didn't do it on purpose. We walked past, and then as we were passing, I was like, oh, there's, a line of people trying, and he's checking people. I don't know if we accidentally snuck into, a VIP area or what.
I don't think so, but, I think they were, still, limiting the people in, but we were just ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
So then we're there. I would say we were there for, half hour, 45 minutes maybe.
Yeah. We were we paid $100 to get in here, but...
And then we had also always talked about, we'll go to space at some point, probably. Mm-hmm. Probably. Once again, we also had budgeted this into our thing. We knew we wanted to go out. We budgeted the fact that we knew Miami clubs were expensive and to get in.
Yes.
I don't know. It's something we want to do. We were in Miami, one time. We knew we wanted to do that. We were okay. At one point, we were let's go. You were let's get a shot or, another drink or something and leave. And I was are we going to have fun here? Which, spoiler, if we would have stayed, we would have had so much fun. Okay.
It's fine.
So we were I don't know. The other club had a girl DJ too.
Yeah, we love a girl DJ.
And we were oh, should we go over there? It's fun. They have a glass ceiling to watch the sunrise. So we left. Okay, you guys. We were standing out as we're walking away. I hear a man go. First of all, we're so stupid.
We're so stupid.
They had a big TV screen sign, huge signs with screens. That's it. Thank you, Red Bull Oracle Racing.
Yeah.
And we were let's leave this club that's thinking Red Bull. And as we're leaving, there's I don't know literally what we were thinking. There were big, huge Escalades out there, but I was also anybody, it's Miami.
Yeah.
We're kind of standing, walking slowly, figuring out where exactly this other club was. I hear a man say Lando's name.
He literally a security guard.
Yeah, and it was oh, Lando Norris. And then I paused.
He was talking, it was a security guard talking to another security guard that both worked at the club.
Yeah.
And we were passing them, there weren't other people around or whatever.
You literally kept going, and I said, stop.
I know, so we were hovering there for a second. We're do we go in? Do we go in? What do we do?
They gave you stamps, so there was re-entry.
Yeah.
And we were should we go back in and out? I don't know. We were debating it, and then we were I don't know. And ultimately, we decided to go across the street. The bar across the street was so fun. We had the time of our lives. The bartender and the first level loved us. He remembered our order right away.
Yeah.
We had the time of our lives.
It was... So, we went to space, and it was definitely, again, a girl DJ. You could wear sneakers, not that I was wearing sneakers. It also, when we were moving the clubs, this was at, 3:30, 3 a.m., 3:30.
Yeah.
And so we were they would probably already be here by now.
We also didn't go out expecting to see, any drivers of the club. We were that'd be so funny, ha ha ha. Like I said before, we like to go out. We were... from the beginning, we knew we were going to go out.
So, and we already knew that we would probably like space better.
Yeah.
And so we're let's just go.
I was I'm not going to, the other club's probably going to be cheaper. Let's not waste our money on buying expensive drinks here.
Yeah.
We were let's just go.
And we did have so much fun.
We literally had so much fun.
Honestly, if I wasn't wearing heels, if I was wearing like flats or sneakers, I think you would have had to drag me away from that club. Like,
I was having a lot of fun.
Loved it.
Yeah.
We were like the perfect like level of drunk too. We were like everything was fun. It was just the vibes were right at that bar.
Yeah.
We ended up leaving at like 6. We probably called it at like 6 a.m. 6:30.
Yeah.
And we never ended up going back to 11. Of course, we get into the Uber. Gracie's literally falling asleep in the Uber.
I was tired.
First of all, we walk through our hotel. We get home
at 6:30.
Best Western.
Best Western.
We get back at like literally 6:30 a.m. We have to walk through the lobby. Gracie's walking barefoot, holding her shoes.
That's my move.
I'm like
My
stumbling
feet hurt, I'm taking
in.
my shoes off.
My feet hurt. I'm stumbling in on my shoes. And other people that are obviously from the Formula One race, again, a lot of like older men that stayed at our hotel that were at the race, they were like sitting in the lobby waiting for their Ubers to go to the airport. Hotel breakfast. Like the breakfast was getting lined up.
It's like Monday at 6:30 a.m. and that's what we look like.
And we were like,
hi, how y'all doing?
Hi. We get up to our rooms. We literally sit down. We open up like Twitter, and Gracie goes, "Oh my gosh, they are literally at 11." And we were like, "What?"
I literally was like,
"What?" Gracie was like, we're stupid. We should have never left.
We are the dumbest people on this planet.
Yeah, no, and honestly, like, it's not like we would have like been close enough to talk to them, or like we wouldn't have talked to them. We wouldn't have approached them or anything.
Oh my god, no.
Like, no way.
I'm so scared.
And like, it's not like we even would have been able to be in the same section as them. Like,
no,
there would have been,
not.
I'm sure,
so much security.
A lot of security guards. But it would have just been cool to like be like, oh my god,
we
were at the same club.
We like kind of. Also, I'm saying this to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
They obviously weren't coming in the main front entrance. We had to have like left as they were arriving, as they had just come in, like whatever. And if we held out for another hour, we probably would have figured it out. Like,
I would have taken a glimpse and then been like, okay, let's go to space.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. We can't harp on it too much because
we can't win them all.
We can't win them all. But you know what? Now everything we do, we second guess. We're like, should we go? Like, should we stay?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do?
If we ever go out after a Formula One race, I will be sat at the first bar we stay at.
Yeah, just in case. Like, I don't want to take any chances.
Yeah.
But all in all, fantastic weekend.
It was a great
We did
weekend.
make it to the airport in time. We did late checkout, thank God, so we didn't have to leave our hotel until noon. So we still got like a good 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
I went to bed at 7 and woke up at 9:45. So
yeah, that was your own fault though.
No, I know you were falling asleep.
I was literally like, she fell asleep in the Uber home. I'm trying to go to bed, and she is yapping away to me, and I'm like, crazy, I'm tired.
I was like, let's go back to 11.
I know, we did consider, should we go? We're like, no, that's weird. That's so weird.
Dumb.
It's also like weird.
Dumb and weird, yes.
So yeah, we do end up going back, and it's...
So in conclusion, we had the time of our lives at the Miami Grand Prix.
It was amazing.
If you can go, I would go. I'd recommend it. We've obviously never been to another Grand Prix, so
we don't have anything to like compare it to.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing experience.
Was amazing. We learned, I would say, 4 lessons. Lesson 1, wear a hat.
Always.
Don't even think about not wearing a hat.
If you think about it, be like, silly idea, wear a hat.
Wear a hat. Lesson number 2, wear your sunscreen.
Yes.
Lesson number 3, don't expect to do everything you thought you could. Actually, I'm going to say 5 lessons. Lesson number 4, drink water.
Yeah.
Drink a bunch of water.
Hydrate.
And our very last lesson, if you go out after a Grand Prix,
just stay.
Stay at the very first place you go to.
Go with your instinct. Go with your gut.
Yeah.
And trust it.
Yeah,
trust your intuition.
Just stay.
Just stay.
And remember to have fun.
Yes. Which you will. You will have fun.
Go... Follow the vibes, go with the flow. I feel like we're both very go with the flow type of people. Like, we kind of planned out our day a little bit.
Our catchphrase is just, we'll figure it out.
Oh my god, we said that, we didn't even mean to. We were like, oh, we'll figure it out. And then eventually we were like, we'll figure it out. Wait.
And you know what? We always did figure it out.
We always did figure it out.
But yes, we had so much fun. We hope to go to another Grand Prix this year. Maybe Coda.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for that. But again, if you haven't listened to it, make sure you go listen to our last episode for the race recap. Follow us on social media. Go check out our TikTok. We, again, posted so much content from our Miami weekend. We will our next episode, which will be also out this week, we will be going over our time at our first IndyCar race.
Yes.
So make sure you're following us.
And we're also going to be at the Indy 500, so look forward to that.
Woohoo!
Bye!
Thanks for listening.